So, okay, it's recording. So, in our last section, we talk about the basic analysis and we move to the advanced aspect. But in the advanced aspect, what we just did is we, you know, format our cell, then we did the vertical analysis. And I was trying to explain the vertical analysis that you now have to check what it was, how what is the trend of each line item in relation to revenue. The cost of sales here is just saying that yes, it is 30% throughout based on our assumption that we have made. Well, it's correct. Then the gross profit too. Of course, 100 minus 37, it will give you 63, which is also correct. Notice something. Your net income here is 126% of is which means that is 126% of your revenue. So you should not be suspicious that, oh, what is really happening. So which means that our revenue is even the net income. Are you saying that is more than revenue? How is that possible? So probably it's supposed to have tell you, is your formula correct? You now have to check, okay, have I inputted the right formula that I need to input there? And one of the ways to do this checking is by making use of the functions called trace dependent and trace precedence. Checking correctness to see that, oh, have I linked them very well? And that's so now when we now see those functions, you is in the formula tab. And how are we going to locate that? You press your Alt key, then trace dependent and trace precedent. Trace precedent talks about, you see that it's saying that it shows arrows that indicate which cell affect the value of the current selected cell. That is, this cell that you are seeing here, trace precedent, it will tell us that where the information we inputted here, which of the cell did we go and pick those information from. So if you now press P, it has given an arrow of where that information is coming from. So let's check. As you can see, is saying that you've made use of cost of sale value and net profit. And it is true, your net profit is more than your cost of sale. So that's why it's showing 128%. So which means that we are wrong. So trace precedent is one of a very important function in Excel that is you make use of it in auditing what you've done. So with that, then we will now make changes and do the correct thing. So we now say equal to the net income divided by revenue. So now this is now giving us the true picture of what is it. So of course, what we've done here will have affected others because we did feel right then. So we need to do the correct one now. Highlight, then control R. Yeah, it's now showing the real figure of what is it. Then going further in your analysis, okay, the interest rate is just 1% throughout. Okay, yeah, that's fine based on our assumption. Tax rate, it was 1% here. Then why is it 15%? That should pop up. You should be inquisitive that what's really happening. Is it that our formula is correct? Is it that our assumption is wrong? Or is it that, oh, um the assumption we give to this forecast is showing that our tax is higher. But even if it's higher, it should be a bit in respect to this one, not really higher than this. So what really happened? Then I'll now go back to my know that this 2022 and 2021, they are actual figures. Are you going along with me? Hello, are you with me? Hello. Okay. So we know that this 2021, 2022, they are actual figures. So we have to go and check, okay, have we collected the data that is correct? Oh, it's even a cost, and so you are the one that inputted it by ourselves. So you now have to go and recheck where you got the data from. Okay, our research data here. Oh, it's still the same thing that is there. Okay, the actual source, the source document that you actually got it from. Maybe I told you earlier that it was gotten from the financial report of Finboard. So you now go and check the actual report there. Or is it the actual tax amount that is? If it is there, okay, then we are fine. If it is wrong, then you have to correct it. And most times it's just a way to pop up to give you a like being inquisitive as to what really happened. That's what this vertical analysis, to analyze the data that you're working with. That's what okay, Mr. City is back. So that's what this vertical analysis usually talked about. So, Mrs. Titi, before you joined, we talk about trace precedents and trace dependence, where you will use to audit the formulas that you have inputted on your Excel. Initially before, this was not linking very well. Instead of us to divide net income divided by revenue, we did cost of sales divided by revenue. So we now had to correct it to do the right one. So then you can look at your EBITDA. Sorry, your EBIT is growing as the year is also growing. You can say, oh wow, that is fine. Your depreciation, it is reducing. You can also look at it. Oh, since we said we should based on the historical record, it should be the same thing. Then why is it that the percentage is different? This one is 3, it should be 3% all through. Then we can also now say, okay, let's check the formula that we've made use of. Then you will now go to your trace precedent. So you press Alt MP to trace where it's coming from. So this arrow, I've directed it to where those information is coming from. You can see it's telling you that you've done your depreciation divided by revenue. Okay, I'm correct with the formula, but the assumption that I've made, oh, I've put it was 500 in for the actual year, but I said in 2022 is 550. Okay, I now adopted that of 2022 all over. Okay, then I'm correct. So when you want to remove the arrow, you just click on remove arrow. It's going to remove all the whole arrow there. So the next thing is, remember that we grouped our section because each one of them are in section. And how do we group? We make use of our data tab, but you have to first highlight what you want to group. Go to your data tab, that is Alt A G G. It has grouped it. Once you press the minus, it's going to group it. Then this one too. Shift Control, the down arrow used to highlight everything. Then Alt A G G has grouped this one too. Let me remove this two column in the control minus so that there won't be much space. And for this one to control minus is to do this. So it's looking more beautiful now and more presentable. Then the next analysis we have to do is percentage change. Yeah, that is, we are going to now do a form of sensitivity analysis. That is, what if there is 10% change in these items that we have here? What will be the effect on net income? So that's the next analysis that we have to do. So we have here percentage change. We want it to, let's say it's changing by, let me insert one more column here. Control Shift plus, and I'm adjusting the column. So let's say that it's changing by 10%, and we'll copy each of the line item. Remember that I want to apply the same style that I've used for others. So how will I do that? I'll go to my That's Alt H J. Then I can select anyone that I want here. No, but remember that I have to make it for the whole row here. So alt HJJ is what I want to do. So I'm putting the 10% here, 0.1. And I need to apply the same format I have here with this. So I can use format painter, right? Alt HFP format painter to put it at 10%. But remember that this one is a constant. So we need to color it blue font. So Alt HFC, then the blue color. So are we following along? Is it clear? Okay. So we want to determine how the effect of the changes. That is, if there is 10% increase in revenue, what will revenue will be? If it is 10% increase in cost of sale, how will it have effect on our gross profit? How will it have effect on our EBITDA? What will be the net profit at the end of the year if there are 10% increase in each of the line item? And that's what we want to do now. And this one, you are going to learn how to do absolute and relative cell referencing. So here, first is the revenue. So you now say equal to, you go and pick so control forward arrow, the up arrow here, pick this, then multiply by, put into brackets, 1 plus, let's go back, sorry, this, our, the changes in percentage, then you put in brackets. Then the same thing apply for cost of sales. What if there's an increase in it? Let's go and pick the cost of sales value, multiply by, two brackets, 1 plus this, the analysis, the percentage, is it here. So what we need to look at is that you know that since we are picking each of the item, oh, this one's supposed to be in 2021. Since we are picking each item and we are referencing just this, we can feel right, because we are using the same formula, right? Then let me highlight everything, control O. Then I'll now say control D, that is fill down. But I need to check first, is my formula, is it picking correctly? Hmm? If you want to check that, just press F2 to see the cell, to be able to edit a particular cell. Once you press F2, it's going to bring it up. So you look at what is referencing. Is referencing C8, which is the cost of sales, and B4, which is the cell next to the percentage change that we want to do. So which means that for us to be able to do the control D properly, we should be able to give this an absolute reference, because we want this one to be standstill. We want to apply it throughout our formula here. So what we'll do is that you now change, I press F2, I can be able to edit. Then you now, so for you to make this stand still without changing, you make use of F4, So what you've done now is an absolute referencing. That is, you are making both the column and the row to stay without changing. So you press enter. Then you can now highlight what you want to copy, where you want to copy your formula to, and press Ctrl D, as you can see. So by pressing F2 is actually referencing very well. F2 is referencing as you want it. So we are fine. Then you can now copy it, highlight everything, then control for you to do feel right. You highlight where you want to fill it to, then you press Control R. You going to highlight everything for you. So the reason why we will be able to do this in a shorter way and faster is that since we want to apply 10% increase to all of them, we should be able to make the ones that is constant and absolute referencing, and that's what we've done here. If you check others too, F2, sorry, F2, you see that it's referencing just this our percentage change that we want it to do. And see, referencing and also actually linking to the example. Let's check where this one linked to. And we can do that by making use of our trace precedent and dependent. So let's go and do that. Alt M P, as you can see, you see that is you make use of this information here and it's under EBITDA, right? Then we have to go and check what it has picked to multiply it with. As you can see, it's actually multiplying with the right one that we want it. Then in move arrow, then in doing trace dependent, that is, for example, this cell now, many other cells depend on it. And for us to be able to check that, we have to use trace dependent. So Alt HM, sorry, Alt to cancel it. Alt H, Alt M D. You can see. So it's actually showing us that wow, what we've done is correct. We've actually referenced each of the item here correctly, as all of them are depending on this. So did you get that? Then we can remove arrow if you want. Then another check that we can also do, okay, on the formula tab, after trace precedent, trace dependent, you see remove arrow there. Then also you can be able to, for example, this net income also, you can check where is it coming from. Once you want to click on trace dependent, oh, this is where it's coming from. Then if you continue, you can just to see that okay, it's linking properly. Let me remove this one. Yeah, so it's linking from it's making both your assumptions with all other value from the previous year. So it's showing that oh, you've linked all of them together. This usually come in handy when you're preparing cash flow statements, so that you can your cash account equivalent, that is the last figure to calculate. Once you use your trace precedence, it shows you how those formulas follows each other, or at which each cell have referenced them. So then you remove arrow, which means that we are fine with our calculation. So the next now is in this analysis, another thing that you can always use in doing analysis is conditional formatting. For example, you can say, oh, your revenue here, which one is less than 20,000, which one is higher than 20,000. Okay, they are in millions. So which one is higher than 20 million? Which one is lower than 20 million? That so conditional formatting will make you to be able to apply color on them easily. Your EBITDA, when you present information, as you can see, because these numbers that you are seeing, if it's somebody that don't understand it and our eyes doesn't see numbers as numbers, they see them as normal pictures. But when colors are attached to them to be able to let them pick, if you see a color, your eye will have to first be attractive to that one, that, oh, what's happening to this one? Especially when it is red, you know that, oh, it's something that is not very good. When it is like maybe green or something more light, to see that, okay, is a very good stuff. So based on what you that is presenting, the meaning you've attached to that color, they will now start getting, okay, okay, this is what really happened. So when you're making your analysis, especially when you want to identify, okay, this one is higher, this one is lower, it's good to, you know, identify those ones that has common attributes as color, why those ones that have another the same attribute as color. So I'm going to now do a conditional formatting for my revenue. Let me go away from revenue and let me use my EBITDA. If you see EBITDA here, is 10 million, 11, 12, 14. Then now starts increasing from 14. So let's see which one is higher than 40 million and which one is lower to 40 million. So for you to do that, you have to first highlight where you want to apply conditional formats. Then then you go to your data tab. Alt A, is it here? Okay. Is in your home tab. You highlight what you want to format. Then Alt H L, this conditional formatting. Then now say highlight sales row. Then let's first do the one greater than 14,000. Oh, in fact, it has, giving us some suggestions. So we want it's 14,000 that we want greater than. So we now have to pick the color that you want. We want green fill with dark green text. Then click on OK. As you can see, it has given us the ones that are higher. Then for the ones that are lower, Alt H L H, that are lower, then L, 14 million. We want it to light red, then click on OK. As you can see, that's already formatted. As me, I browse and give you this and say, oh yeah, let's analyze. I'm just telling you that, okay, the revenue that we have is only 2023 that has lower than 14 million. Why other forecasted year has higher than 14 million? Of course, you easily understand because I've already highlighted it with a particular color here. So that's how conditional formatting is. And also, you can also analyze a particular row. For example, if assuming this all this information now they are the same thing, it's possible for us. I'm trying to look for a data that I can make use of. Okay, let me just continue. When I get here, I'm going to make use of that conditional formatting again. Then if you want to also, check our, let's go and check the percentage here. For example, this net income, we want to determine, okay, which year has lower than 30% and which one has higher than 30%. We make use of our conditional formatting. So you highlight where you want to analyze first, then Alt H L. So there are various forms that you can use. You can use top bottom rules, you can use data bars, you can use color skills, you can use icon sets. That's where it's going to put. For example, let me use that icon set for you so that you can see how it is. I'll highlight all this 2023 forecast here, then Alt H L. Let's just check what others are used for. I. So these are the icon sets that is going to make use of. as you can see, it's already given what we highlighted is already giving me what really happened to it. You can see this one. Choose the set of icons to represent the values in a selected this thing. So then you say, okay, let's make use of this. So what it's telling us is that, oh, this green is showing that it's higher, right? Then while other ones is showing the existence at which they are lower. You can see that this one is red, which is a bit higher than the normal stuff that we want. While this one, you can see that is showing as if it's in the middle part, that triangle that is showing there. So in some, maybe an Excel sheet or you saw a file that they did this something like this, it's not as if they start bringing shape there. No, it's the conditional formatting that they were able to use to achieve this. Did you understand? Hello, are you still with me? Okay. You know, I was just trying to attach a conditional format, and from the word conditional, that is, you are trying to show maybe the one that satisfy a particular condition. And in this situation, Excel has automatically shown that your highest rate is 100%. So it's trying to now give a pictorial picture of how each of them is closer to 100% or lower to 100%. Let me control Z to remove it. So if you now want to now show this item how they are higher to 100% or lower to 100%, then you can make use of conditional formatting to actually show them to your audience or and the maybe your boss or somebody that you're making presentation to. And how will you do that? You can make use of your conditional formatting, which is in the home tab, Alt HL. Then you make use of icon sets. So there are various form of icon that you can make use of. You can use this. As I'm highlighting, it's already giving me how it's going to be there. You can see just the way you want it. Then it can be an indicator. Then you can also go to more rules if you want to define it by yourself. You know, if you want to define the icon set that you want. If it's this that you want, 3 symbols, then you now start giving values to those symbols. You say when value is. So for this one now, so when you now say let's make, okay, the maximum amount when value is 100%, it should mark. So it's saying greater than or equal to, or you just say greater than. So let's say greater than or equal to the highest one. Let's say it's 80. Then here, greater than or equal to, of course. So you can see that it has automatically shifted it. So when it's less than 80, it should be this. But for this one, the lower amount is, it should be this. So let's say we want to put it at 20. Then you press OK. So you can see the ones that are lower than 20, it has given it a sign that you actually attached to it, right? Then the ones that, of course, higher than 80 is a mark sign. Then the other condition that you attach is this figure here. I'm sorry, this picture that it has shown you. So it's just depend on what you want that is going to give you the icon that you've attached to it. Did you get it? Okay. And others too. Let me try check it again. Hello, did you get that? Okay. So let's continue. So the next analysis we are going to do is we want to make use of some function. Is Mrs. Titi here? Hello, ma. Because the function I want to make use of is the simple one before the advanced, and because of that, I'm going to introduce those simple ones. I don't think she's with us, but let me continue, Sha. At least to have it recorded. I'm going to do my cost analysis. I want to apply my sales style of HG. So my cost analysis, I'm just so here I want to also make use of linking. So I'm using my cost of sales. I put my control key down, then the SG&A, the depreciation, interest and tax. So copy it and paste it down here, control V. So despite the fact that there are even space among them, it's copied together to tell you that that's how it does. So even if you copy in a separate items, it automatically assume that you want them to be together. So I'm now linking it from the other information that I have here. You say equal to by control up arrow because of sales, the SG&A control up arrow position, the interest up arrow to make it faster. Sorry, this is assumption and tax. Then I'll fill it right? What copy I want to fill it to, then control R, done. So we do the total. So now is you have to apply the sum function, right? But the shortcut for sum function is auth plus. Excel is going to check automatically the data that is above where you put your auth plus. It will not automatically put the sum function, then press enter. Then I want to fill it right. Highlight where you want to, then control R. I want to apply border alt HB. Sum function, the shortcut for it is alt plus. Alt plus. Yes. When you press your alt key, then plus. So the I want to attach my border alt HB, upper border, and the lower one. So top and bottom, yes. So the sum function, we've known about it. Then then another function we have here is average. I'm sure those that are dating the class know about it, but I'm not sure whether Mrs. Titi knows about she. I don't think she's with us. She just joined, but at least she will have the recording, and that's why I'm doing this. So if you want to find the average of this, you input your average, and then highlight the cell range that you want. Instead of saying number, comma, tap it one by one, it's better for you to highlight everything. Press enter. This is the average of everything. Then since you're applying the same formula all over, highlight then control R to fill right. You can also do your median. Median is also when you just say equal to median, it's going to give you the formula. Then highlight, Then we fill right. It depends on the statistical analysis that you want to make use of. It then asks everything for you. Then the maximum, another function, so equal to maximum. Highlight the cell, then you press enter. Fill it right. Also minimum, you know, minimum, that is the lowest cost in this is what that's what this one is talking about. And you now say minimum, this is it, you pick it. As you can see, the minimum among all these figures here is just 102. You highlight your Ctrl R. Then another superb function. When you are doing analysis, someone might say, "Oh, what is your first minimum?" Or okay, after this one that is the minimum, the lowest figure, what's the second lowest? What's the third lowest? What's the fourth lowest? And that's where you make use of your small function. So and small function, you have to have a cell where you'll be inputting maybe the first, maybe the fourth lowest. So you have to put that figure here first, then you now put your formula to where you want to put your information. It's now saying that which array, where is those array of information that you want to choose from, whether meaning lower, the first, the second, or the third small. Oh, sorry, I've not done the next argument. It's from here. That's the array, then comma. This K means that the choice of maybe the first, the second, the third, and you already inputted it in a particular cell here. Then you click on this one. So you can see it's saying that the fourth lowest in this our cell is what? If you look at it very well, it is this one. So if you put that, okay, what's the second lowest? It's going to change that. 200 is the second lowest. Oh, what's the fifth lowest? Telling you that which is the, of course, the highest there. So that's another, a dynamic way to show the lowest figures there. Then the same thing we have for the one that have maximum large. That one is called large. You have to also have your constant first. Let's say the second largest is what we want to find. Say equal to large. Where is the array? Here. Then what defined is the second, is it the third, is it the fifth largest? Here you will have inputted in a cell so that you can be able to reference it. Includes brackets. As you can see, the second largest here actually is this. If you change it, let's say the fourth largest, so it will be like to be reducing based on the information that you have there. But of course, the first largest is this. Then we have this. Why this one? This the second minimum one, smallest one. Let's see, is 200 here. So we can now fill right. You highlight your figure. Highlight where you want to fill. Then you say Control R. Look at this. It's showing an error. So we'll now be like, oh, what really happened? When you press F2 to check what's happening, you can see that the array is speaking correctly as you want it, but where the other function that we've allocated, we're supposed to have done an absolute reference for it because we don't want this thing to change. We want all of them to continue picking this as the condition of whether small second or third. So we need to redefine our formula here. So you now press F4 to to reference it. So same thing to this one too. F4. That's function F4. So once you fill right, it will be normal now. Control R. Then this we want comma to be there. Then Alt H K. So we are fine now. So did you have any question? I can continue, right? Hello? Okay. I'm making my format various. So the next one now is we'll go to the various form of functions that we have. These are our research data. Then the various function that we want to deal with, these are them. So we'll make use of the if function. So how many of us usually make use of if function in our workplace? Oh, yeah. I've not sent this template here. But the first one that is it this analysis that we did or this function? Okay, this yeah, I just populated this Excel. I've not sent it. So once I'm done with the class today, I'll send it so that you can even know what we are or what we are going to be teaching ourselves in the class, right? So how many of us is using if I've used if function before? Okay, okay, okay. So let's continue. So if function basically from the word if is just to attach condition to your analysis. Okay, if this is greater than for as we you know as we have done in the conditional formatting. It's just that Excel has made it good for us. It has already um like created a particular tab called conditional formatting where there's no need for us to start inputting formula. Once you click, it's going to do the color for you, or it's going to do the whatever function that you've attached. It's going to bring it out for you, whatever condition. So you can also now do the if function yourself based on the condition that you want. I'm going to give a simple example, but this if function is very important in the sense that you can use it anywhere with any function, so that in fact it's very useful in the sense that in dashboard you can make use of it, in date function you can make use of it. So a very good example is when we do our, let's say for example, we want to know the total cost of sales. Those cost analysis that we did, total cost that is, let me check the total that we have here. You can see total cost here we have 9, 10, 14 like that. So we want to know the one that is less than 15 million and the ones that are greater than 15 million. So now total costs greater than the 15 million, which is 15,000 that we'll write in because our denomination is in thousand, is in three zeros. So the one that is greater than 15 million, we want it to be showing true. And the ones that are greater than 15 million, we want it should be showing false. So we need to let's so that we can know the year that we have. So let me just import my year here, and I want to reference the year date that is there. So I'm using equal to sign. So once you pick it, it's going to be picking whatever is there. Then I can fill it right. Control R. Nothing is there again. So you now say equal to if It's saying what is the logical test, that is, if what is in this cell here, no, I'm making use of the total cost. What is here, hmm, is what is greater than 15,000. 15,000, you want to input it there. So you have to put it as a string. That is, and that string is called quotes. So you say 15,000. That's the logical test. Then comma. So if value is true, what should we return? That's the meaning of this. Then it should return true then. Or you can give it, if it is yes that you want it, or if it is greater than 15,000 that you want it to put there. Anything that you, any form of information that you want it to put there, that's what it's going to put. Me, I want it to be saying true. Then comma, if it is false, tell us false. And you close our brackets and click enter. You can see it's saying false. And actually, let's check, is it greater than 15,000? No. So that is in function for you. If is it accommodates conditions, and it will not give you. I'm with you. Okay. So if function talks about it's applying condition to the formulas that you have, you know, it should return. Look at the formula here. It's the logical test. It will first ask you what are the logical tests that you want, which is that if the total that I have there, this total here, let me do it again, is equal to, if I'm referencing this total cost of sales here, that if this what is in this cell, you've picked it, is greater than 15,000. I know 15,000 that you're doing, assuming you've already put that 15,000 in a particular cell, you will have just go and pick wherever you put it greater than this what is inside this cell. But no, you've not put it in anywhere. I guess I should do that too. But let me did what I've first done before. So you put it in a string. When you're writing Excel formula and you are putting a particular thing that you're just innovating there, you want Excel to recognize it, you put it in form of a string. If you want to, you can even put yes. Let's try that as a string here. So, and that's the logical test. If it is greater than 15,000, sorry, that's what we are trying to do first. Then, once you put comma, you are done with your logical test. It's now asking you what's the value if it is true. So, value if it is true is that bring up yes for me, put it in a string. Then, if its value is false, bring up no. You put that too in a string or a quote. Then you close the brackets. Press enter. You can see it's actually saying no because I put a no there. But if I should put false true here and false here, it's going to tell me that it is false because if you check it actually, this one is actually less than 15,000. Then in applying it to others, then we can now feel right because we want to allow this C60 to move to other year too, as that's done for the first one. So we can highlight it and feel right. Everything is false. Why? Let's check. Is everything less than 15,000? No, this is higher. So let's check what we've done to our function. This thing. This one should be showing true, right? This F16. So why is it showing under what year? 2024. There's something wrong somewhere, right? Let me place it here and see. Hello, are you with me? You can see what I'm. Hello? Mm. It shouldn't be appearing like this. And I'm sure that my formula is correct. Okay, let me remove this string first. Okay. Yeah. So probably it's because of but it should work. Well, hello. Do you see where the error came from? Hello, are you with me? Probably Excel. Okay. Yeah. So this is the way you need to do it. You need to remove the string from anything that are numbers. Only those ones that are figure. I actually tested it so as to see whether it will work or not. So did you get this logic? Hello? The other guy is not responding. Satunji, are you with us? Hello? Okay. So did you got where we made an error and the way we have corrected it? Okay. Okay. Did you notice where we made an error and we corrected it? When we are doing this if function. So once you have any figure here, no need to attach the quote or a string there. String is meant for anything that are in form of words there. Once it's figure, no need to put your string there. Did you get that? Then another way to is whether you have to put string or not is when you have this 15,000, you put in a particular cell and reference that cell on its own. For example, this one now, I can have 15,000 here, and just reference it in this place, like this one. But I have to make it an absolute reference so that when I'm filling it to the right, this one will not move, it will stand still. So you press enter, then you highlight and control R. You can see that it actually does it once without any error. Then this here, if you want them to know that it's total that are greater than 15,000 that you inputted, you can just format your cell here. That control one to format cell, then go to custom, The way we did that, putting A and F, you now say in front of your figure, put total greater than. But here, there should be a string here. So that Excel will know that if you want this thing to be showing there, then you click on OK. As you can see, despite the fact that 15,000 as is there in the cell, but Excel is showing it as total greater than. Let's make space to be there. Spacing and spacing. And click on OK. So it's fine now. Then if you now want to do okay, what is the totals that are less than 15,000? Total costs. It's total cost that we want it. Anybody that is checking, we know that the total, especially when they go and check your formula, they say that okay, it's coming from advanced analysis sheets. Hmm? Or in order for you to even use trace precedent or dependent to see where the information in the particular cell is coming from, you can make use of this shortcut control then square brackets. On your keyboard, press control and square brackets. It immediately take you to where that information is coming from. Did you get that? If you look at this one now, control square bracket, it takes me immediately to that. Oh, it's coming from this cell here. Did we get it? Okay. So then the next one here also, let's do the one that is less than 15,000 as a function. Then let's format that cell, custom, total cost less than 15,000. Yeah, it's showing a sample here. You can see that if you didn't put that string there, Excel will not recognize it as a an alphabet that is showing there. So you need to put a string for Excel to recognize it as an alphabet. So for it to recognize an alphabet, and I think alphabet in data type that we have, alphabets are called string. So when you put it in a quote here, that's when to recognize as a string that will now show it as an alphabet. So you click on OK. So you can see it's there. So let's input the condition. You now say equal to your if function. You press tab to accept it. Then what should be your logical test here? Who is there? Star. Okay, okay. So yeah, what should be our logical test here? We want it to okay, which is we are picking it here. They will now say less than, right? Less than this 15,000 that is here, right? And we don't want it to be moving. So when you press F4, you give it an absolute reference like that. So if it is true, what should it do? It should give us, let's make use of, if it is true, yes, here. But if it is false, let it give us no. And press enter. So and you can see that in the first, in fact, let's put, okay, so you will now feel right. Control R. Hmm? Let's make Control Shift Plus. I'm trying to make it more easier to audit. So let me put my total cost here. I'm linking my total cost to this place. So that anybody that is checking, they will get a good grasp of it very well. Then control space bar to highlight all my column I want it to show. So let me redefine this to be easier to trace like that. Control R, fine. And here also. Let's hear. What do you want to say? But initially, you know that the reference we did was coming from this cell, not yes. No, it will not because okay, let me do it again. Control Z, Control Z. Look at it. It's still referencing advanced analytics abi. So let me do that effect here. It should not unless I've copied that new formula to it. That's when it will. So I'm picking it here. As you can see, it's still saying that yeah. So once you make a change in one of the formula, so you need to also copy it again back to others. So Control R. But Control R will make it easier for you to copy to others rather than start changing them one by one again, one by one again. Yeah, or dragging them. Same thing apply here. I need to change this. I'm using Shift, Control, and back so that I can always copy at once each word. Then delete. I'm picking this from here. As you can see, it changes the null effects. Then highlight Control Alt or Control R. So that's for if statements. I'm going to show you those if statements, especially when we are doing our date function and our charts. You'll see how if statement is very, very useful. Then if error is just used to probably if you have a formula and you're sure about your formulas. um So just to wrap that up that okay, if there's any error, instead of it bringing up error as what happened, you can remember when we were doing this one here that we didn't copy, we didn't highlighted what is like we didn't cell reference. So you can remember that when let me do it again. This one was not an absolute reference. We didn't reference it. Oh, if I should drag it, if I should just highlight and control out to this place, it's showing this kind of error. So instead of it should be showing this kind of error, mm, you want it to show that if there's any error there, give me 0 or give me NA or give me error on its own. If you don't want it to show something that you will not understand, that's what if error is. So you will now wrap that formula with if error. For example, this one now, assuming I have wrapped this one with if error, you just say if error, pick pick it, then you wrap it, just the next bracket involved. Sorry, if error, you can see the value is just this small formula that we break it up, then comma. So if there's error, what do you want me to put there? So if I want it to put NA, okay, let's say NA. So I'm putting it in quoted stuff. NA, then I press enter. Oh, it's not affecting. Okay, I'm not yet copy that formula there. Then Control R. You can see it's actually giving me NA. That is not applicable to it like that. So I'll now check. So what really happened that this one is showing NA? Then I'll notice that, oh, I didn't reference it very well. So I'll now put here, okay, I'll go and change where I picked it from by referencing press F4. So if you drag now, then it shouldn't give you any error again. So that's exactly what I want to do here. So for example, if you have your gross, let's make use of our gross margin data. Control Z. I want to pick it from this my data here, the gross margin, which is the gross profit. Okay. Sorry. Gross profit is different from gross margin. And to calculate your gross margin, gross margin is a percentage of revenue. So to do that, it will be equal to your gross margin, your gross profit divided by your revenue. This is your gross margin. Then you fill it right for others. Control R. So if you still feel right, I say Control R. It will be showing this kind of error. But if you don't want it to show this kind of error where it's not available, then you now wrap it with if function. So you press F2 to edit, then you now say if error. You're wrapping it. So this is the value. If this is the value, then if there is any error, comma, so just give me zero. Sorry, zero. Then wrap it. So the value, if it is zero, this is it. Then you say okay. So if I should highlight what I want and press Ctrl R, it will actually be showing zero. As you can see, so that's just the function of if error. I hope Mr. Tunji is also following us. Hello, are you following us? And you have no issues. You're understanding it, right? But if you don't understand, let me know so that you know. Hello? Yeah, and others that we have done. Okay. But the most important thing that the other ones that we, it's not going to show other ones that you've done before. Okay. But it's good to, as we are doing each of them, you understand it. It's not as if you are not clear at all. Okay. Then the next one here is some direct function, sorry, some indirect function. So this kind of function here, it will make it possible for you to be able to, for example, this our total costs stuff that we have here. So let me just copy what is here down here also. Check. I know it will not do. So you're gonna have to go and pick, you have to go and pick it. This is our total cost that we have. If you want to sum, let's say you want to sum just these two, just these three together, instead of you highlighting and now saying okay equal to sum and summing them, you can make use of your indirect function to sum. Maybe just if you say just sum three for me, it will do that. Just sum based on four rows, it's going to do that for you. And that's what you have to make use of sum and indirect function for. So before you can be able to make use of this sum and indirect, you have to have some um assumptions, and those ones are that, okay, you have your total. This is where you put your total sum, right? Let's say we want to have it in space. Then you have to define your start column, your end column. Your start column. So your start column is here, right? Which is F. Your end column, sorry, your end column is wherever you want to end it to. Let's say you are ending it at this L, end column is L. Then of course, they are in just in all of them are in one row, which is this 16. So your row number 16. So now inputting your, let me increase this, Ctrl Shift plus for insert and adjustment in the same place. So your sum now, you now say equal to, normal sum. You say sum, you pick it and you highlight where you want to sum and say enter. It will give you the sum. But if you are like, oh, let me freeze so that the year will be showing. View, freeze bin. So if you are like, oh, okay, let's see what the total of 2024, 2027 total cost that will incur. You have to go back again oya to 2024 to and start applying your formula to sum them. But to make it easier, where by the change of the functions here, by the change of this start and end column, immediately you can be able to change the total sum that is here. That's when you can make use of your sum and indirect function. So let's use it. So sum, you now say indirect, you pick indirect. Then the reference text is what? The beginning is this here. Okay. The beginning is this one. Then you now use alpha sign to join it with. So which means that F16 is the beginning column. Sorry, we know we've changed it. It's now G. So we have to change this later. After we finish our formula. That's the first one. Then to where normally you put your column, right? To show the end that you want to sum it to. But instead of putting your column, yeah, we have to put our column to now show the end, which is indirect again. Wrap it into indirect function. Then the last one is L. Then you join it with an alpha sign. Then the column is this. And click on OK. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the last comma. Let me do it by myself. You put the to close the sum function. This one here. Then click on enter. So what this means is that it's summing from F to L for you, And if you check it, is it actually correct? Okay, I'm coming. Yeah, I'll do it again. I know you guys have not gotten it. So what you will do is that, your sum function normally, mm, you have to just input equal to sum and start picking what you want to do. But if you want to really make a change, it's probably you are doing some analysis and you're saying, oh, let's see the sum between high and held column. You have to just first highlight them, and or maybe copy it, or probably once you highlight, you check here to see what the sum is. So instead of doing that, you can just be changing the column each of them are in this place, and it automatically be updating here for the sum. So for you to be able to do that, you have to make use of sum and indirect function together. So I want to do it again. You say sum. So the first you reference the first column by making use of indirect function. Indirect, the referencing text is what? Is F. That's where I want to start from. And you join it with the upper sign, which is the and sign, and the row. This is it, right? And remember the row, this is it, right? Then you close the indirect function for the first one. Then semicolon column to tell you to be able to identify where it will sum it up to. You now also input the indirect function, which is the last column is L, then and which row is still the same row, 16. You choose this one too, then close the bracket for indirect and close the bracket for the sum function. Then you click on enter. So if you check, this is F, Abi, to L. 8, look at the sum here, 84158, 84158. But if I want you to, okay, I want, give me 2021 to 2024, the sum. So I'll just change it here that this place is G and this place is J, column J. You can see it's changed immediately. So once you change your definition that you define here, it will automatically be changing whatever you want it to sum for you. And if I want it to sum I to L, Abi, the start column is I and the last column is L. Automatically changes. And if you check, let's check. You can see here 64382. So just assuming you have like maybe daily transactions, and all of them are maybe is the sales the sales line, and each day, maybe for a whole year that you have, and you now want to define them. You want to be like, oh, let me get the sum for probably 3 months. So once you can identify the column for the first day and the column for the last day in that in the, let's say, from January to March, and the last column that has the last day in March, you just define it here. And of course, they are in the same row. Once you define it here, automatically, once you are changing the column here, automatically be giving you the sum that you want. So all these are just used in reporting actually, which is very, it's come in handy when you have a huge sum of a huge like you have a large data to deal with. Did we get it? Okay, let's continue. Another one is another function we have here. Um, yeah, well, okay, so you can use let's see the logic. So which means that let's apply our own logical reason to this thing. So indirect is just to change, for you to change in one, like a defined information. um but here, this sum function is just there. So we can change it to average. You can change it to average. Average. This is it. We want to change, we can do average and indirect function together. Once you have it like this, it will work. Let's do that of, let's say we want to find the average between 2021 and 2024 course, the average of it. So that's G and what, and J. So if you say G, then J, 5,000. Yeah, you can change it. So let's see G and J average. See 12,325, and that's what we have here too. So maximum, minimum, you can. So it's just that that indirect function is the main key, something that will not change there. And of course, you can now start using what you've defined here to now do the dynamism behind it. So we understand it, but I want to change this to some, so that anybody that is seeing it will know that that's what we have made use of. So I can move on, right? Hello, I can move on, right? Then another thing is, we have average and offset function, which is a bit similar to this, but offset function help to move further a particular argument. So let's go ahead. We'll still make use of this our total cost information. So now I'm highlighting Control C, and I'm just pasting the value only. So I'll use space special, but HVS, then paste as value only. Then I want comma to be in between, but H, okay, yeah. So if this is my total cost and I want to find the average, so you can find the average, if so average and offset here too. So here the offset doesn't have any defined stuff that you have to do before. But let me show you. So you say average. Okay, let's say normal average is this, and let's say you want to find the estimated average, forecasted year average for the costs. Forecasted year average. So normally what average you do is that you just have to do, okay, what's the average, as I've done earlier before. Highlight where you have it and click enter. It's going to give you average. But in this place, if I just only want to determine what is the forecasted year, which is from 2023 to 2027, um without putting it in another cell, I want it to show still in the same cell here. So what I will do is, I'll have to define the period at which I want to cover them. And that's the only thing that you have to define. So if I'm defining only 4 period here, so from this place to here, I'm just only doing 5 period. So I'll say 5 here. So I want to apply the offset function. Say equal to average, the first cell that we have is this. But remember that you need to put where you want to start from. So since I'm starting out is my estimated average that I want to look at. So I'll start from here. Then you now say, of course, what in normally you'll say um you say sorry, let me put it again. You put your column that, oh, you now have to now pick the last row that you want to find the average, right? But here you can use offset function to make it dynamic in a way. So you now put offset, then put the bracket as a function. So where is the reference row? That is the first row, which is this. Then is in the same row, that is the number of rows that it needs to count for it to get it. That for the first one is just here. So you say zero reference for row, then the column. So number of column that it wants it to find the average is 5. So and you've already defined it here. You pick it from this place, but minus 1, so that it will not go and pick the first one that that you've referenced. Then you close the bracket here, and you close the bracket for average. Then you click enter. Let me make it for it to have comma. So if you notice, if you change here that, let's say I want just forecast 4 years in the forecasted years, that is starting from 2024 to 2027 is the average I want to find. If you put 4 here, this will change. Let's check. It went and find the average for the 3 year for me. Incorrect. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Okay. Yeah. So it started from the beginning. We said we want it to just 4 years within the forecasted year. So it will start from here to the just 4 years, and that's what it has picked. Did you get it? But of course, if you want to start from here, we now have to change our formula to reference it from the beginning, which you will now cancel here and pick this formula here, right? Then any form of offset that you want to put, change this one to start from here. So if you want it to just calculate, starting from here to calculate just the average for this 2021 to 2024, yeah, my answer should be 12,324, which is has happened, which is here. Then if I want it to calculate just only for within 5 years, so I'll put 5 here. As you can see, it has changed to 13,199, which is also in this place. So instead of us just having normal average, if you want to do your average in a dynamic way that you want to calculate, especially when you have all these things are useful and it's coming handy, you even appreciate it when you have a whole lot of a large data to deal with. Did you get it? And I can continue. Hello, but we are getting it right. And of course, on what we've done here, we can also apply that to some. So if you have it here, so I'm going to make use of this period, or let me just define its own period too. Instead of you putting average, you put your sum function. You see sum bracket is, then your semicolon, and your colon. offset function. The reference cell starting from here is the same row, you put 0. The how many number of column should be forward to sum it? Should really move forward to come and sum them. How many column is defined in this our period here, is here in this place. Then you close your offset function and your sum function. Click enter. So I want to define the period now. So let's say sum within 4 period. Within 4 period, right? And these are 4 period sum. Okay, remember that so that it will not go and double count this, we need to do -1 for the period count. Sum 4 period. So these are 4 period total costs, right? Look at the sum Excel does for us, and it's correct with our formula here too. Just sum within 6 period. It's going to automatically change it, you know. And let's see whether it's correct. Sum here is 84,158, and this is also the same thing with this. So that's dynamism on this function, sum and offset function. Then next is the naming cell function. So when you want to naming of cell comes in handy when you don't want to be going back to now start go and picking that cell again. For example, in calculating your EBITDA, here, EBITDA is your gross profit minus SG&A, right? So instead of you now start, you know, especially when it's not in the same cell and you want to calculate it, you can name all this column here as SG&A, name all this one here as gross profit, then reference it in your functions and in your formula, and it's going to do that. So let's say for example you want to calculate EBITDA, just to show you how you can name a particular cell and make reference to it and it's going to work easily. So first thing is that we want to name our gross profit. So you highlight where you want to name. As I want to name this all this row like this to be gross profit. So you have to go to your name manager. Name manager is under the formula tab, sorry. Your Alt M, name manager, this is it. And I've done various ones before, so I need to delete them. Let me leave it. I'll just have to name it with another one that's not the same thing with these ones. So I'll see you click on new, then you name it, but you need to be careful to remember what you name it with. So I'm not putting any space between it, because if you put space it will not allow you to name it. Let's try. Let's say gross profit, and it's what we've highlighted. See, it's already there. You say okay, you can see it. Not allow you to start with a letter or underscore. So I'll say okay. So I don't want any space to be there. And say okay. It's already there. This is it. Then I want to also do a new one also. I'll name it SGA. SGA. Capital letter. Then I have to pick the range that I want. So this is the range that I'm naming. I'm highlighting it. So it's either you highlight before you come and click on name manager, or if you're already on name manager, you can now click on this and now re-highlight. You can see that it's showing that from C10 to I10, which is this 10 here, is not what is here. So that is the most important thing. Then you click on OK. Oh, that name already exists, so I need to change it. SGA. SGA, what should we do? Class. Okay, let's name it SGA class. No, Oh, my battery is low. We are almost done. And click on OK. Then we are fine. So now if I want to now find the cost of sale for this 2021, I can now say equal to the gross profit. You can see the name that I've applied to it before is already given me. And I'm sure of the one I used to make use of. This is the name I applied. Tab minus SG class. Click enter. Next string is not started. Let me remove this freeze. Let's try it here. A bit down. Hello, are you with me? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Up to gross profit. This was more like it. Minus SG. Something is wrong with this thing. Let me go and rename it. C9 to I9. Yeah, C9 to I9. Or better still, it's because I've already. Okay, it should work now. What's happened to this exam? Let me use the one I've done before. Minus SG. Is that I think the first one that I didn't name them very well. You can see that it's worked for the one that I've named before. So the most important thing is that once you name, you can make an easier reference to that cell that you've named it with. So let me go and put it here. So when you don't want to be going to that other cell and start going picking it again. That's what name is usually useful for. Gross profit minus SG and A. That's all. It automatically even picked it because I named them as one row. So dot H. Did you get this? Then you can also name an individual cell. If want, for example, this percentage change that I did here. Instead of me referencing the cell, I will have just applied the name here. Let's do that. This cell, for you to name only one cell, you come here and highlight, then I'll name it as sensitivity. Sensitivity. And press enter. It has name like that. You can see that this cell here, once you go out of that cell is B41. But once you are on that cell, it's showing as sensitivity. It's showing as sensitivity. So here, if I should apply it here like this, I should remove this and say plus sensitivity. You can see it has bring up what I've named it before. So I used to have to pick it and press enter. It's still the same thing. But the disadvantage of this sense naming is that you can't easily go and trace that cell that you've named. If I should put trace precedent now, let me see whether it will work. Just go to where my revenue is and probably it's not tracing to where. Oh, it's even telling me that yes, this is where it's come from. But if it is like this one that will have a whole row for it, or somebody that doesn't know how to do trace precedent and trace dependent, the person will be like, oh, where have they picked this gross profit on? Where is this SG and A from? So that's the one of the disadvantages of naming cell. But if you are somebody that you want to you don't want any other person to copy what you've done before, you can just name cell. You'll be like, now wow, this guy is really good though. So that's all about naming of cell. Then my battery will soon go low, but this is 3:57, which are it just remain 3 minutes. So do we have any question? From next week, Saturday, we'll deal with go seek function and data table function. They are what if analysis, is comes in handy when you want to do forecasting. Then we'll also talk about the date function, then the sum product and sum if function. Then we'll now talk about our dashboard also next week, God willing. So are we fine? Is there any question? Oh, yeah, I'm going to send this now. I'll send it now.